What is up, everybody? Welcome back to RacingDudes.com and welcome back to another one of our horse capsules. Let's go to Mystik Dan for this one. He is a very interesting horse. This is a fun one to talk about here. So let's go to Mystik Dan. Let's kind of look at what he did. He is a grab bag of fun, isn't he? I mean, I just cannot get a great read on this horse. I think I have him figured out now, but I would be careful to really say you've got this horse figured out. He's a Jekyll and Hyde quite a bit. Second start of his career, maiden special weight, Churchill Downs, sprinting, whoosh. He looked awesome. And I thought, man, okay, this is a good horse. They tried stretching him out in an allowance next. He got fifth. They tried stretching him out in the Smarty Jones. He got fifth. And I was like, okay, this is a good horse. Cut him back. Went to the Southwest Stakes. Why are you doing this? Cut him back. Ran a tremendous race over the slop in the Southwest. Rallied up the rail, looked awesome, just blew their doors off. And for my money, it was one of the most impressive preps of the year. Now, you give that caveat. It was a sloppy track at Oaklawn. He rallied up the rail. We've kind of seen that story before with Mystik Dan. It's like, yeah, or not just Mystik Dan, but other horses as well. Sloppy track, Oaklawn, it's a funky track, how that'll play sometimes. So anyway, I was skeptical, but excited to kind of see what he did. He ran okay in the Arkansas Derby in his next start, dry track, got third. He ran okay. It wasn't awful. He got beat by Muth, a horse that I think is pretty good, would look really good in this Kentucky Derby, to be completely honest. He also got beat by Just Steel. That's not a bad horse, but you probably need to beat him, in my opinion. But anyway, I mean, I didn't think it was awful, but it certainly wasn't the Southwest. And I think that's the thing we all could kind of see. The Southwest, it certainly wasn't that. And Mystik Dan, I mean, he was 6 lengths behind the winner. So it was a bounce if you're going to be like optimistic and think maybe he could run better now, but it was more of a kind of, this is who he is to me. I don't know the distance is really going to help this horse. It's going to stretch out to 1.25 miles, obviously, for the Kentucky Derby. This horse is by Golden Sense, and I don't think anybody needs to be reminded. Golden Sense was best at a mile. He actually tried the Kentucky Derby and just didn't do much. Out of a Colonel John mare, I don't hate that for distance, though. That's okay. So, I mean, I think there's reasons to believe this horse at 1.16 might be okay. 1.125 might be stretching it a bit. 1.16 may be where he needs to be. But look, he qualified for the Kentucky Derby. He ran a speed figure that's just massive in a Kentucky Derby prep race. So there's no reason to not give this Kentucky Derby a shot. Should. If you believe he can bounce back and run, that Southwest number, he can win. I think realistically, and again, you just really never know how they're going to show up, right? But realistically, I think he becomes more of a play if it rains. And I think, look, we've seen it. It rains a lot on Kentucky Derby Day. I think that's what's going to get him back to that Southwest race. If you're going into this thing going, I'm going to back Mystik Dan, I think he's getting back to that Southwest race. I think the rain would really, really help his chances. I just think over a dry track, 1.25 miles, all things being equal, we don't know the post position draws yet. He might get a post that helps him. Some favorites might get bad posts where maybe he becomes more playable. But all things being equal, I think over a dry track, it's going to be a little more iffy where we know, hey, sloppy track, we know he can really roll. So we'll see. If it rains, I think he becomes a big factor. But look, he has races. He has that ability in him to jump up and run a huge race. So maybe he can do that here, and that would be very, very good. Very good to see him do that. He's a fun horse. There's no doubt. I mean, I love those horses that can just jump up at any time and run those monster races. We'll see what happens with Mystik Dan. All right, that'll do it for our horse capsule on Mystik Dan. Hit that like button if you like it. Hit subscribe if you really like it. Want to get alerted anytime we do videos like this. And most importantly, stay tuned to the channel for more Kentucky Derby 150 coverage.